Hello everybody. I was kind of looking around YouTube and noticed there didn't seem to be very many wonderful videos about flax. There's a lot about making it and there's a few about spinning it. So I figured I'd add a different version of it considering I'm drop spindling what I have. So this is spun flax that has been combed out very nicely. I have about a pound of it here or so. And it's going to be spun into thread that could be woven into a garment or used for hand sewing depending on how thick and or thin you decide to make it. So, trying to kind of show you the texture. Now this being natural flax, this is not bleached, sort of a silvery gray color. And this, I sort of tease it out and thin it out so it spins up nicely. But it's not the only plant fiber I've been looking into. One of the other plant fibers I've been looking into are ones that I could grow at home or collect out in the wild to be able to spin and use possibly in clothing or other textiles. So I've been experimenting. And Star has decided that she wants to come over and view. Plant fibers seem to be very tasty to cats and probably other household animals. And because of that, the research that I've been doing about natural plants has been a bit challenging because milkweed can cause a reaction, and also one called Indian hemp, otherwise known as dogbane, is definitely poisonous to animals. So because of that, I've been sticking to the tried and true things that will really, if my animals decide to get a hold of them, that it's not going to cause issues with their digestion. Because Star did run away with a whole handful of flax, a mouthful of flax rather. And it was a little bit challenging, and I was a little worried, but luckily nothing became of it. But she loves the smell, and it does smell like sweet grass. So that's some to do with the challenges with Star and wanting to eat plant fibers. They seem to have no real interest in the lamb fibers. Other than smelling it, they don't seem to want to eat it. But the plant fibers, the cats want to eat. Jace likes to chase around the drop spindle. That's his favorite thing. He kind of likes to chase it around. But getting back to other plant fibers, this, I have a couple different varieties on here, if I can get it to focus. This particularly white one, and I'll use my pants as contrast. This happens to be bamboo fiber, so it comes in a pure white color. And then this tawny colored, there you go, that tawny colored, this is actually what hemp looks like, which is very similar, but it's more of a yellowy tawny color. And then from there, if I can get a hold of it, more of the flax, which is more of a gray color, grayish brown. But you can kind of see the differences. You have hemp here, you have flax here, and then there's some bamboo down there. So you can see the color differences. And I'm just playing around to see how they work together or work against one another. As I was spinning, I learned that the plant fibers, you're better off spinning one plant fiber at a time. If you try to mix the two and variegate them, they don't like to behave very well. They also do better if you happen to have some water, and it goes for any of these particular plant fibers. It helps smooth down the fibers and hold them in place better. So with that in mind, and taking into consideration the wood, I do have a trusty little spray bottle nearby to wet things down. I found these wonderful carpet spools that I'm going to use to fill up with a whole bunch of my yarn as I spin it. But it was unfortunate to find out that the plant fibers that would be available sort of in the eastern United States would not be very friendly to animals. That was a bit disappointing because I was hoping to find a more sustainable way of doing fiber arts without A, needing to really cost very much money, and B, if I could harvest my own fibers, it'd be a lot easier. As you can see, the cats just love to sniff anything that I'm up to or doing, and I do have to keep it animal friendly as much as possible. What my goal is after getting all of the flax spun and woven or put onto these spools is to be able to weave it into my own garment, either that I can use for a lining material on some of my dresses or just make it its own stand-up linen, woven linen jacket. Kind of continuing the journey from the wool woven jacket that I had wash spun and woven to cloth and then made into a garment. I'm kind of doing the same version but with plant fibers instead. The cats are kind of playing and sniffing and doing their usual thing, so you'll see them coming in and out of frame. But I want to at least show the pretty shiny fibers. And I actually do have more of the bamboo and the hemp. So I have those in their own separate containers for spinning at a later time. So I may have to separate the fibers that are on this one spool possibly and put them on their each own respective spool. You know, one of bamboo, one of hemp, and the other of flax. So thoughts and ideas and things to kind of keep one occupied. Some of the advice I had received besides spraying as I was spinning, at least partially, dampening, not soaking wet, but dampening the fibers. The other suggestion was once you have everything spun and have it on some sort of nitty-knotty or spooling like item, so to speak. So not quite something like this, but at least have your finished yarn boiled because that'll also help keep the twist in. One of the problems I was running into with spinning this is that it liked to pull apart a lot easier. It requires more twist to hold this together as compared to animal fibers, which have natural scales to hold on to each individual fiber separately. So with all of that, it's been fun and interesting, and I wanted to kind of show what I've been up to with all of my current fiber arts situation. And figured that this would be something a little different that I wasn't seeing from our other friends on YouTube. I might eventually figure out how to do some what we call how-to videos, which will show how things are done. But I have to come up with a different camera setup in order to show doing things, because right now I have to hold the camera in my hand in order to shoot anything. So, but ideas and things for in the future, keep it interesting. And as always, there's kitty cats. There is always kitty cats. As long as this basket is out, she'll actually stay nearby. Other than that, she'll probably run off and go do something else, because she wants to chew on the fibers. With other kitty cat naughtiness, I'm not sure how to deal with any kind of holiday tree coming up for the holiday season, because the cats, if I get any kind of decor out in the house, even my wonderful sewing box and hat and my wonderful doll over there, the cats really and unfortunately love to knock her over or try to chew on her. And Jace tries to get on to the top of both shelves, either or. So unfortunately, decorating may be a bit of a problem because these guys are naughty. Both of you. Star less so, she doesn't jump on things, but she likes to chew on things if they're available or down on her level. She'll go after them. But as in regards to spinning plant fibers and any other such activities, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. You can also private message me, email me, or contact me through my blog, which all that information is right on the channel. Have a good night and happy spinning.